Since I started business 18 years ago, 18 plus years ago, in fact, it was natural for me to start with trust. Of course, I was naive at that time when I started business, but it was something within me that I would always want to trust in the beginning. And I realized that there was something that I had to adjust in my life. I found myself being surrounded by people who had a lot of distrust, and they've been so badly hurt. They were betrayed, also by family members. They were betrayed business, yes, betrayed by their best friends, betrayed by their neighbors, betrayed by their business associates. So, and they would say to me, "No, I can't trust. I don't trust. I don't trust." And that was plaguing me. And which is what was so natural to me was just to start with trust. And I could not understand. So when I started in business, we had hired lawyers, okay, just for various contracts, various employee and various things. We engaged a lot of lawyers, time. And I found that when we did that, we had that mindset of having that legal involvement. It resulted in more issues. It resulted in more issues in our business. Somehow, because of that feeling of distrust, the feeling that everything had to be, that we had to always be so careful all the time. And somehow I realized that during those first few years, there were legal cases that we went through. And I was amazed by that. But over the years, I found that I had to change to go back what was resonating within me, which was to start with trust and to sometimes not engage and be involved too much with the legalities. And when that happened, I found that there was so much less of the involvement of the lawyers. There was so much less. I don't remember being betrayed. I don't remember getting any particular court orders or anything like that. It actually started disintegrating and going away. And I couldn't understand it. Of course, we saved money, but it was interesting observation. And as the years passed, less and less legalities and more trust. And then I found that because in our minds, we decided that we wanted to only surround ourselves with people who would joyfully trust and not have this heaviness in themselves. So naturally, we're surrounded by people who would joyfully start with trust and made that part of our community. And as they became part of our community, that became our world. And I felt so satisfied. Wow, this is my new world. This community of people who joyfully would start a trust became my new world. And before that world, or people around me who were always had distrust, and then distrust felt like a very heavy, low energy. So that was the one thing that I found was changing. I was basically changing my world. So if we start looking at life as a world that we create, as a theory I mentioned a few times in my other videos, the many worlds interpretation. The many worlds interpretation basically means that you switch to different worlds 1 billion times a second based on your change of your belief systems. We can't see it in our conscious mind, but in the deeper, in the unconscious, it is happening. We don't see it in terms of time. We don't see it in terms of what's happening around us, but it's actually happening in the invisible, in the matrix. So, yes, I could see that the change that is going on, and I made it part of my conscious thinking that I would shift away from people who would generally gossip, who would generally have small minds, because these are the people who start with distrust. Those who don't do that generally start with joyful trust. Now, this is not a I don't approach things in a perfect way. Okay? This is what